and all you guys out in YouTube land. Yep. Hmm.
I'm
Sorry
doing
to interrupt.
well.
It looks like we got no sound.
Uh-oh.
Check in the
Wrong.
They
chat.
can hear me. Sorry, but they can hear me.
Music played perfectly. Blah blah blah. Be here. Hello.
I'm just repeating the chat.
Yep. You sound very good.
And I said the first. Okay.
Just later.
No. Um. Okay, guys. Vader has no sound. He's working on himself. So just hang in there. He's showing us what he has to deal with. But yeah, we can hear him, but you guys can't, right?
Yeah. Just the microphone or the
Marsha, I
device.
can't hear you. Marsha, I can't hear you.
All right, there we go, guys. I
Yeah.
got it
I
fixed. I
can hear you.
apologize for that.
Okay.
I guess it's not too bad since I was just rambling in circles, anyways. But yeah, so y'all heard from Marsha, y'all heard from Robert,
Yep.
and y'all are now hearing from me. We'll go ahead and jump over to Kyle. Welcome, brother.
Well, I'm good to be here. Great, important topic that I think everyone is pretty much familiar with, to some degree, at least.
Yeah, and just to kind of get back in there and kind of make people think, it's not always a bad idea to get these ideas of things we've learned before and kind of revisit them with the new lens that we have now, or the scales have fallen off now, right? So we're re-examining with new eyes, and there's new stuff that we can glean from the understanding that we have now. So it's beautiful to always talk about these topics. And obviously with the foundation that our king is the most high, and he takes care of the birds every day, so he's going to take care of us as well. So
Great.
but let's jump over to Frankie. Welcome, brother. Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. Let's get into it. The royal family. This is a big topic. This is a big show. Everybody put your seatbelts on and your helmet. Let's get ready to rock.
Yeah, I just saw Wendy say it wouldn't be a show without technical difficulties. I don't know. So y'all couldn't hear me, but that thing that I was showing on the screen, I was showing you how my mic changed to all this crazy random numbers and digits that had nothing to do with my mic, and it will literally just do that randomly. That's why I have the difficulties I do. I don't know. I don't know if it's Grabble or just bad programming from the programs I'm using, but it's annoying.
Well, I said shalom at the beginning in chat, and I said, and pray for no technical difficulties. What?
Yeah. We didn't pray for it fast enough, apparently.
That wasn't enough.
And we got a newcomer to the table, Iron Phoenix with the Iron Phoenix 67 with us. He's driving right now, so we appreciate him joining the table even while in a vehicle. Still a seat to take, and if you'd like, take a second and introduce yourself. Give a bit of testimony of where you are, where you came from. As big as small as you'd like, and then we'll go from there.
Howdy, my name's Iron. Grew up in Michigan. That's about it.
Nice. And we like to ask others, kind of what was your proverbial straw that broke the camel's back when it comes to the like seeing the world in the true Earth model as opposed to the modern scientific heliocentric model.
I'm not sure about all that. I'm still learning about that.
Oh, still learning. Okay, so you're still figuring out.
Yeah, I'm still not used to all that.
Yeah. Cool. Well, just for me personally, kind of shares like a little bit of my journey to that last question is I live in Utah, and one Sukkot we went to Bear Lake, which is like a portion of it's in Utah, a portion of it's in southern Idaho. But anyways, I did a long distance observation over the lake, and 100% in my mind with the math that was presented to me as scientific debunked the R value, therefore debunking all that I had been told. So that was kind of my straw that broke the camel's back. But I think it's just the preponderance, the amount of evidence suggesting the opposite, that is like kind of the last nail in the coffin, so to say. But welcome, brother. I hope you are excited for this conversation, and feel free to add anything in there you'd like when we're going throughout the topic. So.
Yeah, thank you. I might not be here for much, like too long, because I'm currently driving home. When I get home, I'm probably gonna leave.
Yeah, no worries, brother. Well, appreciate you for the time you do want to share with us. Sweet.
Yep.
Okay, sweet. Let's do a little housekeeping real quick, and then we will get into the show. It'll take me just a brief moment to do this, guys. Pull this up. This one. All right. So first of all, I always like to shout out Take on the World. Chris and Liz Bailey over here on in this community allow us to come over there and share our puzzle pieces with their family. So I always want to give what's due, and of course that's shouting them out as much as we can. So thanks again, Chris and Liz. Definitely check out. They have 783 videos, guys. So there's so much content over there. So if you haven't checked them out, if you haven't subscribed, definitely do. And then of course we have our YouTube channel, which is Circle of the Earth Fellowship at CEF Fellowship. We're past that 1.1K, so thank you for all the recent subscribers pushing us over that threshold. Of course, our next goal is 2K, so please make sure you share, comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz, because it really does help the channel grow. Grabbed the wrong one. Sorry, guys. No, not gonna let me. It's refusing. Okay, transition. One more time.
Oh, did anybody
There we go. Please like, share, comment.
get back? Did anybody get back to you about the shofar?
So yeah, I'm gonna go over that real quick. We're gonna go to the third name. If this third name doesn't do it, then the next stream, I think we're gonna give it to someone live. So we're gonna see who's live. I'll make a post and announcement during the week of that drawing. So all those who come and join us live will have a chance to win it then. We'll just do it that way, because it's kind of hard with all those subscribers, with all those comments, which we obviously appreciate, to get in contact with someone who's actually maybe they don't want it, so they have no desire to look into it, but who knows. Anyways. But please like, share, comment, subscribe. It really does help the channel grow. And like always, we like to read the comments from the last videos. We got our always faithful Moonglow over here with a thank you for your support. And over on the Circle of the Earth Fellowship, we got one from Beaten Horse that says, "Great stuff, all. Thank you for sharing this. Reminds me that I'm not alone in my inner dialogue. These are my thoughts anytime I'm out and about and I hear lies and spells and the music pumped in our heads. Do not consent. Renounce all the oaths, but to the Most High. That SpaceX launch yesterday had 33 engines. My boy caught that. So proud. Nice. That's great. That was a great comment, brother. I really do appreciate it. So true. And yeah, it's fun to talk about these things because, it kind of keeps our minds focused, right? Definitely when we are looking at them from the point of, we've been saying this over the past shows, is greater who is in us than who is in the world. And we know that, even the most evil actions that the Father uses for his will and for his glory. And so, I like to, jokingly, quote Obi-Wan and say, strike me down, for I shall become more stronger than you ever know, right? Because what's the most that they can do to us? Why fear him who can take only our body, but not the one who can, take our body and our soul. So that being said, we do have a Discord where these take place, as well as the after shows where we get to talk a little bit more uncensored without Grabbler Tube's interference, and can share more stuff openly. So that being the case, check that out, link in the description. We also have a merch store, so if you're interested in supporting the channel and getting some merch, that's the best place to do it. And then there's a lot of great tools, Bible Hub, Bible Gateway, and Sacred Texts, and we definitely clicked the wrong one. Recommend Enoch and the Book of Jubilees. Are great resources. Definitely check them out. We have so many available resources nowadays that you would be a fool not to take the opportunity at the palm of your hands, or at a click of a mouse. So definitely check that out. Sweet. All right, that's the rest of the housekeeping. Let's get into the show itself. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing that. Pop this big for everybody, and yeah. All right. So as we've kind of been progressing, we're on episode 6 now. Royal families. Special blood is required to be in these royal families, and in many ways, do they try to keep that blood within their family? And we've seen the consequences of that. We'll kind of get into that a little bit. Considering what we've also been talking about so far, just a little bit ago, we talked about secret societies. You will see these parallel behaviors and symbols right along with these royal families, and not only in openly, but also in mystical ways, right? One of those ways is many civilizations around the world at one time had a king or a ruler, an emperor, if you will, that claimed divinity, that God had chosen them, or the gods had chosen them to rule that nation, and that their people were special with the special bloods that allowed them to do so. And of course, as we've showed before, there's many different cultural representations of not only the events, but of the stories and the so-called tall tales and mythology surrounding them. But we also see that alive and well in our modern times. But of course, the characters have been changed, the setting has been changed, but it's the exact same story. So we'll get into that as well, and I hope y'all are excited about that. And before we get into it, if anyone wants to add anything about kind of their thoughts about this topic, getting into it, I'd love to hear it. No?
Other than there's a bunch of stuff on royals, but can only weed through so much of it.
Yeah. No.
But there is.
Yeah.
And everybody, I like what you guys brought, what Robert brought, and I don't know what you brought, Vader, but it had some extra things than what I was even thinking. So
yeah. So yeah, there's so many aspects of it, and of course you'll see all this stuff interconnects as we've shown the whole time. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it and kind of show what we found. So I'm gonna pull this up and grab can get rid of that one. Save some internets. Grab this one. Now, while I'm kind of bringing this stuff up, it's up, but just kind of ordering it a little bit right now. So with this, those that may not know and those that do know, if I miss anything, please throw it in chat, throw it in a comment in the video. A lot of like a kind of summarized there in the beginning, a lot of civilizations in some form or fashion have claimed a divine given power. We've seen that in the Roman Empire, the Incan Empire, the Japanese and Chinese empires. We've seen that in a lot of European empires and kingdoms and nations, where this right was given in some divine fashion. Now, those can, of course, scale from, just the fact that, hey, we were born into this family, therefore God chose me to be the king, and so that's the right I have, all the way up to, mythological tales about, divine beings and humans copulating and creating these heirs apparent. So, and again, we've seen these in a whole bunch of different civilizations, and we'll kind of talk about that. And it, of course, what that's evolved into our current day, especially for those, most of us, of course, that watch this channel are living in the States. And so we do have kind of a certain, view when it comes to the world. And so, of course, evil didn't stop with the creation of America. It kept chugging along, and who we are where we are today. And of course, you see all the connections of the behaviors of them, of then to the behaviors of now, and how eerily similar they look. Okay, so those put.
Someone said I'm too loud.
Okay. Too loud.
Yeah. I don't know. I only hear myself
Okay,
in here.
I'll drop it a little bit. All right. If that's better, guys, please let us know. If it's still too loud, I can look at the sound again. But without confirmation, it doesn't really do anything for us.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go to that towards the more modern times. And okay, so I believe this first one is from you, Robert. This is King Tut, his terrible inbred family tree.
No, that's from me.
That was you? Weird. How did I get those?
The video. His is all
articles. Okay. Wait.
words.
Interesting. Where did his go? Okay, there.
Over on Robert.
Okay, I found it. I just somehow yours got on the other side.
Oh, that's because I went way down.
No, yeah, it's just the way that they opened. Okay, let me go back to that one. Okay, so let me share my screen. And we're going to watch a little bit of this video. So, and we'll break it up and talk about it. This is from Mortal Faces on YouTube. The video is named King Tut's Inbred Family Tree, How He Looked in Real Life Mortal Faces. Who even believe? Like, I'm just saying.
I don't know, but
I know. No, I'm just saying.
Pharaoh, whose Egyptian tomb yielded dazzling
quick.
treasures, limped around
Why are
on
you
tender
not pausing?
bones and a clubbed foot, and
Okay, that was weird. Okay, anyways, what I was saying was like, I don't know. Have they done that? Have they like got a picture of a person, and then like got their skeleton and then like use their technology to like recreate it based just upon the skeleton, and then showed how it matched that person without the person who used, like that? Do you get what I'm saying though? Because like they're kind of just saying this like, oh, this is what they would look like. But it does not surprise that they inbred, and we'll get into that.
Well, you'll see his deformities
Yeah.
in the feet. That.
Yeah. All right, let's get into it.
Probably died from malaria. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Here on Mortal Faces, I transform historical portraits to see how famous figures we read about might have looked in real life. And in this video, we will check out King Tut as well as go through his inbred family tree. So let's get started. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more historical recreations. And let me know in the comments who you'd like to see in real life. King Tut was born in 1341 BC and died in 1323 BC, so he would have lived for only about 18-19 years. Let's talk about his health and his family tree. King Tut probably had a slight build and was around 5 feet 6 inches tall.
Oh, how
He had an
dare
overbite,
you.
which was a characteristic of his family, a cleft palate, and a mild case of scoliosis or a curved spine. A cleft palate could have left him with problems with feeding and speaking clearly, and he might have had ear infections coupled with hearing and teeth problems. His right foot was flat while his left foot was clubbed with bone necrosis, which basically meant not only was it curved, but the bone was dying due to lack of blood supply. This can result in increased pain and swelling through the affected area. As a result,
Okay, I'm gonna
he likely
Now, Vader,
yeah.
you know what? These things could be sped up to like 125 or something. You can still understand.
Yeah, that's totally a good idea. And I will do that. But I'm going to kind of skip through this a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like one of the kind of things that we saw these royal families do, and this is just a good example of that, is like the Romans, like the Egyptians, like the Incan, like a lot of these, the Chinese, etc., a lot of the European families as well, to keep the power, because, right, they told everyone, guys, we have special blood, so if we don't have special blood, then we couldn't rule you divinely. So one of the requirements that they then imposed is to have special blood to rule. And what this did is it limited their genetic pool, and genetic, that whole word, that whole DNA, all that, I don't know how far I would believe into that, but we do know that if you repeatedly keep things in the family, you do get deformities. And the evidence of that, again, is all these civilizations, all these kingships, monarchies around the world. We saw the many of the French, English, etc., had a lot of problems, genetic problems, because of this very thing. So it's, I'm not saying that I am happy. Of course, I'm not happy that people are inflicted with different things, on their bodies. Like, King Tut here, his inbred family, each of those individuals didn't choose for that, just as so much as they didn't choose to be born into a royal family and have this power just because of their birth. And so we see kind of the consequences, and as I kind of stated earlier, right, is God even uses the most evil actions for his good, right? So sometimes that can be, see what happens when you try to keep the power, when you try to keep the genetic pool. You're not trying to be fruitful and multiply. You're trying to kind of keep that special blood all to yourselves. You get curses brought upon your family for those actions. And so, like I've said before, those spiritual beliefs and thoughts can have physical implications, such as what would happen to these inbred families. Thoughts, anyone? Oh, I can't hear you.
You're muted, Marcia.
there were literally back in the line where brother sister were married. So
Hey, isn't there a law with that they're not allowed to mingle the blood? Isn't that a scripture?
I can't think about it off the top of my head, but I know that there is a scripture about
Inbreeding directly.
Inbreeding, yeah. It was a law from Moses, right?
oh yeah, there is. No,
It's
from
definitely one of the commandments.
Oh,
Well-
it was after Penoch, right? After the flood.
Well, I think it was like, are you talking about when, was it Reuben? Was it after Reuben? I think.
wait a minute,
Yeah,
Noah.
It was after
I don't
the
know.
flood, yeah.
Anyway,
So that's just an example, and right here we got up top here we got the pharaohs. Says Egyptian pharaohs were kings of ancient Egypt. They were considered gods by their culture. Their titles equated them with aspects of the likes of the hawk god Horus, the virtue goddess Herabic, and the cobra goddess Wajet. The Egyptian believes that when their pharaoh died, they would continue to lead them into the next life, which was as burial was grand and completed to perfection. Okay, so I do want to say that some of this is obviously Egyptianology, which if you go to school for Egyptianology, you are just being taught Egyptianology by a person who was learned Egyptology, so it's not anything. It's kind of like you go into that profession to smell your own farts idea. But what's interesting is we have one description here of pharaohs. There's other descriptions where he's also associated with Osiris, and we'll kind of get into that. You also have the snake. There's a lot of stuff that's kind of overlapped and crisscrossed in Egyptianology. But anyways, this is a list of people that were basically considered to be gods. So Naram Sin of Akkad, the first Mesopotamian emperor, claimed to be a god. Japanese emperors claimed, at least by some Shintoists, including government officials, to be divine descendants of the goddess Matsuru. Hirohito and Showa Empire rebuted the false conception of his divinity in the Human Declaration 1845. So in modern history, they've come to say no, we're not actually descendants of gods. That's just some fairy tales that we used to tell them to be scared of us. So we got the Chinese emperors defined as sons of heaven, at least by some Confucianists, since the Qin dynasty under Qin Shi Huang. We're gonna jump over real quick to this page, Chinese dragons, and of course there's a whole bunch that's added to this, but I want to jump down and read just one little part to kind of show you where it also comes from. Of course, they use the symbol of the dragon all throughout their their
breasts and
iconography.
yeah.
Okay, where's this at? I may have gone too far. Okay, here. It's somewhere here. Let's see if it says mother. Okay, here it is. Let me bring this back on screen. Okay, so it says, oh gosh dang it. All right, it says, historically, the Chinese dragon was associated with the Emperor of China and used as a symbol to represent the imperial power. The founder of the Han Dynasty, Lin Bang, claimed that he was conceived after his mother dreamt of a dragon. So, in some other translations, I saw this be copulated with a dragon. It says during the Tang Dynasty, emperors wore robes with dragon motif as an imperial symbol, and the high officials might also be represented with dragon roles. In the Yuan Dynasty, the two-headed designated by the sons of heaven or emperor only. so in their mythology, their first dynasty was created when a mother and a dragon copulated and created uh, uh, the Liu Bang. So very similar to what we were just showing in the list of them having this divine right to rule, right? Because like, let's just pretend all of a sudden that a dragon came flying and then mated with a woman. That person would be a special person if we put down the Bible and we had nothing. You know what I mean? If it was just a story, that would mean something. And of course, in factual, it does mean something too. We got the Roman emperors following Julius Caesar, who in 42 BCE was formerly defined as the divine Julius, and Caesar Augustus henceforth became Divi Filius, son of the divine one. Some, not all Roman empires of the 1st and 4th century claimed divinity, including Tiberius, Caligula, Claudius, Hadria, Commodus, Julian the Apostate, and more. So, of course, we're gonna see it in other cultures. The Natchez rulers, the Natchez were a theocracy ruled by the great sun. This ruler has sometimes been deemed as a god king. The Paramin says the king of the Sudanese Indonesian kingdom called the Taramgarigar. Sorry, I totally butchered that. According to these inscriptions, he embarked on a hydraulic project and also identified himself with Vishnu, which indicates that he and his kingdom was adhering to the Vishnute faith. So again, another god king. The Saladra dynasty of Java were active promoters of Mahana Buddhism and covered the plains of central Java with Buddhist monuments, including the world-famous Borobudur. We got the Javanese rulers of Southeast Asia's largest kingdom in Indonesian Asia. After death, they were depicted as Hindu gods. Let's see. The Dalai Lamas considered reincarnations of the, cannot say that word, in Tibetan Buddhism. Panik Lamas are reincarnates of Atabaya. So literally their kingdomship is Tibet, and everyone sees the Dalai Lama as the reincarnation of the next god. We got the Inca empires. Inca empires had status very similar to that of the pharaohs of Egypt, which is of gods. That the gods would be in that king, would kind of reincarnate and die and reincarnate into each king. Nepolism kings in Nepal, the kings of the Shah dynasty, were considered incarnations of Vishnu. Same exact thing. And this says post-Homerific deification. So Gilgamesh, we've heard that before, also code named Nimrod. And this is a good jumping off point to jump over here real quick. I found this website. It's called BibleTools.org. They had some cool commentary. It says Forerunner commentary. I'm going to read this real quick because it goes along with kind of what we're talking about as well as the times. So it says, what Bible says about Osiris. Two key figures in the origin of Christmas are Nimrod, a great-grandson of Noah, and his mother and wife, Semiramis, also known as Ishtar and Isis. Nimrod, known in Egypt as Osiris, was the founder of the first world empire at Babel, later known as Babylon. Genesis 10, 8 through 12, 11, 1 through 9. From ancient sources such as the Epic of Gilgamesh and the records unearthed by archaeologists from long-ruined Mesopotamia and Egyptian cities, we can reconstruct the subsequent events. After Nimrod's death, 2167 BC, Semiramis promoted the belief that he was a god. She claimed that she saw a full-grown evergreen tree spring out of the roots of a dead tree stump, symbolizing the springing forth of new life for Nimrod. On the anniversary of his birth, she said Nimrod would visit the evergreen tree and leave gifts under it. With his birthday fell on the winter solstice at the end of December. A few years later, Semiramis bore a son, Horus or Gilgamesh. She declared that she had been visited by the spirit of Nimrod, who left her pregnant with the boy. Horus, she maintained, was Nimrod reincarnated. With a father, mother, and son defiled, a deceptive, perverted trinity was formed. That's where the trinity, it's not a perverted trinity, that's just a deceptive trinity was performed. Like, I feel like those two words, perverted and trinity, are kind of synonymous, personally. How dare I, though? During the
Yeah,
time...
I think that was.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying. I think that was definitely probably the first Trinity that was in existence. Semiramis, Tammuz, and Nimrod.
Outside of nature, right? Because for sure trinities exist in nature, but not in the form of, like, when modern Christians describe Trinity, they're not using that same type of Trinity, right? It's like gas, water, water's three states, or, the sun, moon, and stars, or, mother, father, son, child.
They do use those to make their arguments for sure.
Uh-huh.
But as far as I think the similarities go between the representation of the son Tammuz and the wife Semiramis holding the baby, and the representation of Nimrod being the sun god that reincarnates back inside them. I think that's a little closer to kind of the Mother Mary, Jesus kind of depiction that's in Catholic churches these days. I think there's a lot of similarities between Semiramis, Tammuz, and Nimrod, and the Trinity of Catholicism.
Yeah, and Catholicism in general, right? The proper, like the pedestaling of Mary as someone who you pray to. Just like in this whole theology, Isis, her wife and mother, that whole thing is one and the same, right? It's the exact same thing.
It is.
All right, let's go. I can't pronounce her name, but Semiramis and Horus were worshipped as Madonna and Child. As the generations passed, they were worshipped under other names in different countries and languages. Many of these are recognized: Fortuna and Jupiter in Rome, Aphrodite and Anitis in Greeks, and Ashtoreth and Astarte and Moloch and Baal in Canaan. During the time between Babel and Christ, pagans developed the belief that the days grew shorter in the early winter because the sun god was leaving them. When they saw the length of the day increase, they celebrated by riotous, unrestrained feasting and grossness. This celebration, known as Saturnalia, was named after Saturn, another name for Nimrod. So great little resource, and guys, I am working on it, so just give me a little bit and I'll have all of them done for all of the different episodes in a nice, neat way that you'll be able to check out on Discord. I will post a link. I'll go back and add it to all the episodes with all these. So if you want to go and check this more and or any of these, watch any of these videos, you'll have all of those to do so. So just bear with me while I still get that finished, and we'll have that soon. But yeah, it's such a great connection right here, because Osiris, Nimrod, we're showing that all these different cultures all around the world all have these similar beliefs that do these same things. And when we get down more on the micro level and look at all of these royal families, we see these similar behaviors where they're claiming to be gods or descendants of gods, or have been divinely appointed as to be the kings, the rulers over peoples. And oftentimes these kings and rulers were not righteous men. They did not practice the behaviors of the Father, which is the laws, the commandments, the ordinances. They kept their own law, and we see what's happened throughout the history, right? As they get destroyed and a new one rebuilds, and they get corrupt and destroyed and rinse and repeat. And through that, right, you have the true seekers, us, the generations before and after us, who will look at what's presented to them and question and seek out those puzzle pieces of the truth to see what the truth we can glean from this world, because there's a lot of nonsense out of there that's not, no one going to Sunday school during the holidays was ever told, hey, I know this is kind of based on Saturnalius. I know this is kind of based on these horrid things, but we've taken over Christmas as a Christian thing. It wasn't like that, and we all know that, and that definitely has something to say. Anyways, jumping off from there, I think we'll go back to the list and kind of continue on. So we also have Imhotep, ancient Egyptian architect and physician whose status 2,000 years after his death was raised to that of a god, becoming the god of medicine and healing. He was an Egyptian chancellor to the pharaoh Deification. So I think this is kind of interesting. So like, this is a man being said, oh, he must have been a god because of what he did. Interestingly, I think around this exact same time is when they introduced the concepts of hermenubis, like when the Greeks and the Egyptians got together and they started realizing, hey, we kind of have the same gods. So they kind of lost some patrant gods, and because they combined them and then made new ones to kind of do it. Okay, so we got Queen Ditto of Carthage. It says founder and first queen of Carthage. After her death, she was deified by her people with the name of Tenant, and assimilated to the great goddess Astartes, Roman Juno. Interesting. The cult of Taint survived Carthage's destruction by the Romans. It was introduced to Rome itself by the Emperor Septimus Severus, himself born in North Africa. It was extinguished completely with the Thessalian decrees of the late 4th century. Interesting. I think there's some more gravy there to see. We got Homer. We don't even know that guy's real. We're going to definitely talked about a lot of stuff. A lot of books and mythology is based upon what he talked about. But, yeah. So we also got Romulus and Remus. This is the founders of Rome. It says the founders of Rome, sons of Mars, right? So half gods. Romulus served as the first king. Romulus was, according to the book History of Rome, the son of Rhea Silvia and Vestia Virgin, which became pregnant with the twins Romulus and Remus by the god Mars. After his death, Romulus was defined as the god Quirinus, the divine persona of the Roman people. Romulus' ascension to heaven and deification as god. Quirinus mentioned in Ovid's poem Metamorphosis, book 14, written shortly before 8 AD. Ovid depicts god Jupiter promising Mars the light to translate his sons Romulus into immortality. Yeah, we've kind of, if you read the book Enoch, you've kind of got some gods trying to make their sons immortal as well. And we got the Buddha, of course, was a regular human that gained enlightenment and became a god. And now we have that kind of same mentality. And that's one of my thing against Buddhism is in general is the fact, right, that they it kind of makes everything very morally subjective, right? So as an example, this Buddhist ghost who was born as a ruler, just so happened to be born there and had all the perks of life, and could go around talking about other people's suffering. But he was born to be there, right? And if bad things happen to you, well, then whatever you did in your last life, you deserve to have them. But anyways, off that tangent. But I'm not going to read every single one of these guys, but as you see, there is a long list. George Washington worshiped as kami in Hawaiian Shinto shrines in the United States Capitol Dome. He's also depicted as ascending into Olympus and becoming a god in the famous painting called the Apotheosis of Washington. So all throughout time, right, we have people deified Mr. Adolf Hitlerio right here, where they have the exact same thing, Mother Teresa. And so, of course, and this says involuntary, meaning people that didn't choose to do it, but others deified them. And then, this is those who said, no, I am deified. So, of course, they say Jesus of Nazareth claimed to be deified. This, oh my God. Can I please get a how dare you for this? I need a how dare you, Robert. Give me a how dare you.
How dare you?
Yeah, see, like, what people go when they read Jesus of Nazareth, they get a one road, description of the man. And that can definitely lead a lot of people astray.
Inconceivable!
But that being the case, right? Those who are truth seekers are going to bust through those barricades of belief into knowing when they, when they're after that pursuit of truth, right? If you shall seek my face, you shall find me. The Father gives us clear promises for if we are obedient to Him. He, the yoke is light, and the road, the crooked road is made, straight. So. Anyways, long list of people that have been deified in some type of way, self-deification, popular deification, whatever it is. And if you look at most of these people, if not every one of them, in some way they were a ruler over men. And of course, not all, but most have this classification. And if you are a god, do you not have the right to do whatever you would like to do to anyone, right? Because you're God, and so anything you do is righteous and just. And they sure would like us to believe everything they do is right and just. So, perfect. I think that was a good jump away. And, any thoughts, anyone? Go to this.
Yeah, I think it's interesting they throw in Jesus into that whole mix. Like the Zeitgeist documentary would have you believe that he's just another ascended master amongst the ranks of the other ones, but he's the only one who's ever ascended. He's the only one who can be classified on that list as a deified master.
Yep.
I like how their description, they say that Jesus believed that he was
God incarnate.
They're going to describe what others believe that Jesus is, not what the Bible says per se.
Yeah, exactly. So, as we kind of talked about before, many European countries also have this same type of ideal. It's not just Chinese, it's not just Japanese, and it's, of course, also Roman. We talked about Rome and Greece, the Mediterranean area. But we also got here, this is from the Edinburgh Castle. This is the Stone of Destiny. So it says, the Stone of Destiny is an ancient symbol of Scotland's monarchy, used for centuries in the inauguration of its kings. Seen as a sacred object, its earliest origins are unknown. In 1296, King Edward I of England seized the stone from Scots and had it built into the throne at Westminster. From then on, it's used for the coronation ceremonies of the monarchs of England and then Great Britain. On Christmas Day, 1950, 4 Scottish students removed the stone from Westminster Abbey in London. 3 months later, it turned up 500 miles away at the highest altar of the Arbroath Abbey. In 1996, the stone was officially returned to Scotland. Today, it is one of the priceless treasures on display in the Crown Room, visited by millions of people each year. The stone will only leave Scotland again for a coronation in Westminster Abbey. The stone is displayed alongside the crown jewels in the Royal Palace on the east side of Crown Square. Okay, not gonna read that extra. So yeah, and this isn't something new. This isn't something that's just separated, though. See, we got a stone here, in a lot of other different, monarchies, kingships, empires, etc. You do have these relics. You do have these objects that are associated with their kingship, and I always thought that was very fascinating. And of course, they say, that the the origins of this are unknown, right? But guys, like, they don't fight over a stone like this where people die for just a stone. You know what I mean? There's something to do with this thing. There's something, metaphysical, I guess you could say, about this stone, or something, right? And I thought it was interesting that they took it up 500 miles away at the highest altar of the Aberoth Abbey. I'd like to look into that Aberoth Abbey, but it specifically says high altar. So again, you got some kingships with some high altars, right? We've seen this all before. And okay, we're gonna skip that for now. We're gonna come back to that. Okay, we are gonna start getting into kind of starting with that stone. We're gonna we're gonna watch a little bit of this video. Let me put it on screen for everyone. I apologize. This is over on BitTruth. It's from the Marno's channel. This is from Shaking My Head Productions 3. This is we're going to read a little or watch this video a little bit about Freemasons. So, hey Zach, hey Vader, I thought you were we already did secret societies. What does this have anything to do with royal families? I don't know. Let's watch and see.
Freemasons met across the Union and Confederate divide to celebrate their common rituals.
And today, Freemasonry remains an active part of military life in many countries.
Freemasonry has burned as a blazing fire through the last 3 centuries. The driving force behind the Royal Society was initiated into Freemasonry
Prince Edward, Duke of Kent, father of Queen Victoria, and Prince Augustus, Duke of Sussex. The 2 princes brought their feuding Grand Lodges together and reconciled to be the United Grand Lodge of England.
Kings George IV, William IV, Edward VII, Edward VIII, and George VI were all Freemasons, as were 18 dukes and princes, including the Duke of Edinburgh.
This year, His Royal Highness Prince Edward, the Duke of Kent, celebrates his 50th year as Grand Master of the United Grand Lodge of England.
His Royal Highness was proposed into Freemasonry by the then Grand Master, the Earl of Scarborough.
He was initiated into Royal Alpha Lodge number 16, an advocate for the craft all over the world, continuing 3 centuries of distinguished royal tradition at the very heart of English Freemasonry.
Guys, look at their special robes and their special dresses. They're so cute. Oh, they're so cute.
Could it be any more obvious? Yeah, I mean, they portrayed this to the entire world with this giant compass and square, with their whole comedy skits and everything like this. I mean, they obviously want people to know what they're doing to some degree.
Yeah, this is their mockery, right? Like, this is them being able to stand up there with their fancy pants and their lollipops and their buttons and their medals and their little skirts and tell everyone basically, hey guys, we control you and we've been controlling you. And guys, I say that, right, but slavery is an offer, right? These, going along with these people and their wars and their agendas is an offer. You don't have to choose that offer. You can say, no, thank you. I have a king and he is a king above kings, and that's the only king I'm going to bow for. And, if you're not him, you're not receiving my worship. But they definitely do have enough pompous to people to say, must be nice. So let's keep watching this for a little bit.
Masonry.
To order, brethren, to receive the most worshipful, the Grand Master.
The most worshipful Master.
The most worshipable.
The most worshipful master. So dumb. It's literally so dumb. All right, let's get. Oh look! Everybody, come look how long my necklace is.
As permanent master of these three lodges, I now call on my deputy masters.
Most worshipful Grand Master.
Most worshipful Grand Master.
Most worshipful Grand Master.
Most worshipful Grand Master, I humbly ask you to complete the initiation of this worthy candidate for Freemasonry.
Adorn our ceremonies and forever remind us of our incomparable heritage, the birth of organized Freemasonry.
Stressing the deep and sincere loyalty and affection felt by the brethren of the United Grand Lodge.
Oh, dude, he loves the affection of the Grand Master, if you know what I mean.
Of England for their Grand Master.
I had the pleasure of meeting 136 Grand Masters visiting from overseas at Freemasons Hall yesterday.
Ooh.
Today, though, we are a meeting of more than 4,000 gathered from all around the world, from our own constitution and beyond.
Did you hear that, guys? They're gathered from 4,000 Grand Masters from all over the world.
They got them everywhere in every city.
And that guy, that real tall, ugly dude, is the most worshipful one.
Isn't he a Rothschild?
He looks like it.
He looks like one of them for sure. But what I'm kind of trying to point out here, guys, is it doesn't matter if you're Hindu. It doesn't matter if you're Christian. It doesn't matter if you're Catholic. It doesn't matter if you're whatever. These people are coming together all across the world to say, look how good we are. Look how great we are. Look at how much beauty, how much money, how much, we have created on this earth. And all with a boastful, proudful heart. You can see it in the decadence of their clothing, of their, of this whole ceremony.
It's their own religion.
But what I'm saying is these men are coming from,
right.
Let's say they're Judaism and they're Freemasons. They're coming to the Freemason table. They're Buddhists and they're, coming to the table as a Freemason. It's almost as if, even though they have all these different religions, in essence, they're all praying and worshiping the same thing. That's how they can get along. And it took all these wars and all these, cliques for them to finally be like, oh, look, we have the technology and the capability of just being all one big happy, supposedly seemingly happy family. It's such a point, guys. It's such a point to know it's not about religion. So them trying to use, Muslims as a, liability shield, or the Jewish people as a liability shield, or Americans or any peoples as a liability shield. They have no care about that. That is not in their prerogative. So, anyways,
yeah, that's part of their.
Oh, go ahead.
Part of their goal is to stick their tentacles into every facet of human life and control every culture and every means that they possibly can, and that means subverting any of the churches of any religion whatsoever, and make them work in your favor over a period of time. That's what mystery schools did in the first place.
Yeah, and I kind of mockingly threw the the thumbnails, put them in dark robes and in dark rooms or whatever. But as we've said in another episode, we read the scripture talking about the evil one, that even he appears as an angel of light. So also will his servants act like righteous men, right? They're in this light-filled thing, all with their special thing that has all this insane meaning to it, right? Like we're not going to get into all of that. They're all adorned with these things, with these symbols, with these idols, with all of this stuff that is associated with so much depravity and sin. And they are coming into a room that's lit and videotaped, guys. Videotaped, so everyone can see how great they are. And that speaks for itself. Let's go ahead and continue this.
When the global Masonic family comes together to celebrate our past and to renew our own pride and confidence in and enthusiasm for Freemasonry.
I hereby read the text of a letter sent today to Buckingham Palace.
Yeah.
May it please your Majesty.
Give me Savile.
We, the representatives of over 200,000 Freemasons under the United Grand Lodge of England, most respectfully express our continuing loyalty to your Majesty's throne and person in this, the 66th year of your long and distinguished reign, of His Royal Highness the Duke of Kent, as our much-loved and greatly respected Grand Master.
Ooh, there's our new king.
We humbly thank God for preserving our order and further pray His blessings on your Majesty, so that our loyal devotion to your Majesty may long continue. Given at the Royal Albert Hall this 31st day of October, Anno Domini 2017. Her Majesty has been pleased to reply in the following terms. The Queen has asked me to thank you for your kind letter of loyal greetings on behalf of the representatives of the Freemasons under the United Grand Lodge of England, which are being celebrated on the 31st of October at the Royal Albert Hall. Her Majesty appreciated your thoughtfulness in writing as you did.
We leave the Royal Albert Hall.
All right, so that's a good place to stop it. We see a little letter written out there from one of the Mr. Grabble, Savile himself. And that's a good transition. We're going to jump over to another video. Maybe not video. I think it's an article. Where was that at? Someone dropped that. Oh, here we go. This was you, Marcia. This is yeah, so this is Jimmy Savile, and we obviously just saw him have pictures with the new king of the new king of England, and we're gonna watch this little video and talk about it.
He was a very depraved man. They're all depraved.
What are you talking about? He donated 90% of his dollars to charity. Like, what type of guy does that other than a guy that's trying to help people? And I'm pretty sure he donated a whole bunch of that money to children's hospitals, which he would personally visit on too many times to count. So let's go ahead and watch a little video about Jimmy Savile.
It's horrible to listen to, and obviously in the knowledge of everything he did, it makes it even harder. But you've uncovered the relationship that Jimmy Savile had with the royal family, particularly with Prince Charles. Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, as part the reason we were looking at this is we were trying to explain how Jimmy Savile got away with his crimes, and as part of that, we were looking at a huge amount of archive footage of him on television over a period of 50 years. And as part of that, of talking to people, we came across the letters between him and Prince Charles, which helped give us an understanding of the nature of the friendship that they had, which I don't really think we fully understood before. And I suppose what was most interesting and why we've included those in the film, which looks really broadly at many reasons, why
I just want to go back to that still real quick.
We did those in.
Let me go
that
back.
one with the fangs.
No.
And I suppose what was.
One second.
Yeah, he looks like Marty Feldman, doesn't he?
Really think
no, he looks like Jimmy Savile.
And I suppose what was most.
He looks like Marty Feldman from Young Frankenstein. Igor. Doesn't he?
Ain't got nobody. Cha 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 cha.
Play it and pause. Okay, is it pause?
Igor, not Eagle.
All right, so yeah, look, we got Savile, and you know, the Pope
The
himself.
Pope. Yeah.
No wonder why they were homies, man.
Yeah. No wonder.
He could get pizza to that gate, the royal gate, in an instant.
Birds of a feather.
Yep.
You don't have to play any more of that.
And I suppose what was most interesting and why we've included those in the film, which looks really broadly at many reasons why, you know, Jimmy Savile wasn't apprehended before he died, is that the relationship was one where Prince Charles trusted and respected Jimmy Savile, and I think that's really interesting, because I think what we were trying to do is look honestly at the British public's relationship with Jimmy Savile in order to try and explain how he got away with it. And I think there's been a temptation to sort of say after the revelations, oh well, you know, I always hated him, I always hated the man. That seems to be the common answer we got when we phone people up. And I think that's unhelpful, because I don't think the archive material or footage bore that out.
Okay, I know this is totally random, but doesn't it look like she's trying to use her pen as a phone? She's like, "Hello, I'm trying to talk to you on this pen phone." I'm sorry.
Never thought of that, Vader.
That isn't the case. I think he was trusted and respected, and I think that we need to look at that in order to understand how perpetrators behave and how this happened.
You look back at some of the comments.
Okay,
and
I think that's good enough. We know. Here, I'll answer this 4-minute video on them discussing how Jimmy Savile got away with it for all those years until, you know, it didn't come out until after he died. How did that happen? Because he was friends with the royal family. You know, if birds of a feather flock together.
So what was he? Was he the Epstein of Britain?
Of the royal family. Of many famous and powerful people.
Many
within you know, not just Europe, but predominantly Europe. Yeah. So let's jump over here. So you know, the mother of our current king, right, is Queen Elizabeth. She shortly, you know, not very long ago, shoveled off her mortal coil, and is, you know, resting hopefully in Sheol. I don't know why I said hopefully, but I'll just keep going. It says Queen Elizabeth on her coronation day. Today marks the 15th anniversary of the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II of the United Kingdom on June 2nd in 1953. Surely her half-century reign would be envy of many ancient kings who considered one measure of their greatness to be the length of their reign. Great Britain has been a world power for centuries and heads the Commonwealth of Nations, which spans the plane of the earth with nearly 50 member countries. How could a few small islands have come to such widespread influence? Just who are the Britons anyways? Guys, that's really interesting, right? That last little bit is how did such a small area, right, comparatively to all the other nations out there, like, think about how much wood exists on England compared to how much wood exists in Texas, right? And how could they compete with all these other nations that had vast amounts of resources above them? It's almost as if God divinely appointed them to rule. I joke, by the way, guys.
That was a joke? Oh, okay.
So let's you know, there is a strong tradition that British royal line is a continuation of the throne of King David of the ancient United Kingdom of Israel and Judah. An examination of the genealogies of these kings clearly shows their descendant from that royal line. The Lord made a covenant with King David, which was not conditional on David's continued righteousness. The Lord stated, I have made a covenant with my chosen. I have sworn unto David, my servant, The seed will I establish forever, and build up thy throne to all generations. I have found David my servant, with my holy oil have I anointed him. With him my hand shall be established, mine arm also shall strengthen him. Also I will make him my firstborn higher than the kings of the earth. My mercy will I keep for him forevermore, and my covenant shall stand fast with him. His seed also will I make endure forever, and his throne as the days of heaven. In his children, if his children forsake my law and walk not in my judgments, if they break my statutes and keep not my commandments, then I will visit their transgressions with rod and the iniquity of stripes. Can I just stop for a second? Literally, whoever wrote this from Latter-day Saints, this is Latter-day Saints Mag, this is a LDS thing. I just want to point that out. Thank you for the thing. I just want to point something out, guys. Do you see how it literally says right here? The Lord made a covenant with King David, which was not conditional on David's continued righteousness. What is righteousness, everyone? Righteousness is following the commandments. Okay, well, let's see what happens if his descendants stop following the commandments. If his children forsake my law and walk not in my judgments, if they break my statutes and keep not my commandments, then will I visit their transgression with the rod and their iniquity with stripes. Nevertheless, my loving kindness will I not utterly take from him, nor suffer my faithfulness to fail. My covenant will I not break, nor after the things that have gone out of my lips. Once I have sworn by the holiness that I will not lie unto David. His seed shall endure forever, and his throne as the sun before me. He shall be established forever as the moon, and the faithful witness in heaven. I'm not going to keep reading it, but of course, a lot of nations, a lot of power governments around the world have claimed this throne, this divine right to rule. And many of them, of course, in the European areas, will use this same throne, this same promise as something to them. Of course, all of them do not keep his commandments. They do not, they do break his statutes. That's why we have the war and the strife in our life, guys. One of the reasons for sure. What were you going to say, Frankie? I thought Frankie said something.
Nah, I wasn't going to say that.
Oh, I apologize. Sweet. All right, let's keep trucking. So you sent this link to me, Genesis 28:10-22. Do you want me to go ahead and read it, Robert, and then we can talk about it?
Well, that's just goes along with the stone. That's Jacob's dream, Jacob's ladder, and he sanctified. And that was his pillow.
Pillow. This is pillow.
Oh, okay.
That's just a reference to where that stone allegedly began.
Oh, okay. Let's read it and then talk about that, because that's cool. I didn't see that. And Jacob went out to Beersheba and went toward Haran, and he lightened up a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows, and lay down in a place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. And behold, the Lord stood above it and said, I am the Lord God of Abraham, thy father, and the God of Jacob. The land wherever thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thee thy seed. And they say be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south. And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed. And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into the land. For I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. And Jacob awakened out of his sleep, and he said, Surely the Lord is in this place, and I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, "How dreadful is this place! This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he put for his pillows and set it up for a pillar and poured oil upon the top of it. And he called the name of this place Bethel, but the name of the city was called Luz at first. And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, "If God be with me and keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and remnant to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace, then shall the Lord be my God. And this stone which I set up for a pillar shall be God's home, and all of those thou shalt give me, I shall surely give the tenth unto thee." So
that went along with the stone you showed.
So you were kind of saying, or you kind of researched that people think, or that you think that the stone that they're carrying around that they do the coronations with has to do with this? Is this stone that he used?
That's what they believe, is that's where the stone came from, and they've been using that ever since the last king had fallen from David's throne. That they've been in Ireland, up in Scotland, and then subsequently all the kings of England. Anytime that they have a new king or queen, they get coronated with that. They set it below their seat while they're being coronated or whatever.
Interesting. What if that's like, I wonder if that like could have a metaphysical effect on someone where they're seeing something, tapping into something, you know what I mean? Because it's interesting. It's just a rock, right? Why would they go so much lengths to protect it if it's literally just a rock? You know what I mean? Like, okay, they could say the history behind it, blah 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 blah, but it's just a rock. You know, why has such importance? And I don't know if y'all see the connection also from the video we showed, them literally talking about Edinburgh Castle, and here is that stone that is connected to that scripture. Very, very interesting. All right. Okay, I'm gonna finish up a little bit more stuff, and then we are going to get into the last bit of videos. And I'm bringing up the wrong thing. There we go. Sorry, guys.
That's right.
So, say that again. I'm sorry.
I just saw the picture of that brick guy again.
Oh yeah.
All right, so Osiris, one of the most important gods of ancient Egypt. The origin of Osiris is obscure. He was a local god of Berenices in Lower Egypt and had been personification of the underworld fertility. By the 2400 BC, however, Osiris clearly played a double role. He was both a god of fertility and the embodiment of the dead and resurrected king. This dual role was in turn combined with the Egyptian concept of divine kingship. The king at death became Osiris, god of the underworld, and the dead king's son, the living king, was identified with Horus, the god of the sky. Osiris and Horus were thus father and son. The goddess Isis was the mother of the king and thus the mother of Horus and the consort of Osiris. The god Seth was considered the murderer of Osiris and the adversary of Horus. So again, as it just said, this was connected to the divine kingship between the king at death become Osiris. Now, this will very much so tie into what also happens here in America, right? Because here in America we don't have kings, we have presidents, right? And one something that's kind of interesting, building upon what we've kind of talked about, right, is because there were horrible kings. There are these kings that were inbred, that were ruthless people that did horrific stuff to their own people, and did so under the guise that they had this divine kingship, that they were chosen by God to be kings. Thus, their actions were righteous. And what kind of came from that, right, was eventually a false rebellion, if you will, where that was rejected, and in part played into the creation of the United States of America. And so now, of course, a lot of that stuff was pulled over, and it was, again, just changed a little bit to give us a new story, a new set of royalty, a new set of kingdomship, but in a way that people could stomach, as opposed to being outright ruled and being seen and known as being subservient. So one of the things in the Egyptian religion is the reanimation rite. So it says, in Egyptian religion, rite to prepare the deceased for the afterlife, perform on statues of the deceased, the mummy itself, or statues of a god located in a temple. An important element of the ceremony was the ritual opening of the mouth, so the mummy might breathe and eat. The rite, which symbolized the death and regeneration of the concept of Osiris myth, in which the dismembered god Osiris was pieced together again and infused with life, was performed in the sculptor's workshop if on a statue, but on the mummy if it was performed at the tomb entrance. And this rite, the statue or mummy was believed to be endowed with life and power, so that he might enjoy daily funeral services conducted before his tomb. In the case of the temple statues, the ceremony was included in the daily temple ritual. So here again we have, in their religion, this whole practicing of the Osiris myth, which is what we just talked about. And go ahead. Oh, I swear someone was going to talk. Which was what we were reading earlier. Okay, so we'll get back. Oh, I closed the wrong one. Give me a second, guys. I got to reopen that. Is it that one? No. Okay, I'll just reopen them all. Okay, so let's watch. Let's go through a few of these shorts and kind of talk about them per short. So this one's from Bumblebee Buzz. Let's see what they got to say.
Queen Victoria's reign began in 1837 and it lasted until the Queen's death later on in 1901. Now, at just age 18, Alexandrina Victoria had to rise up to the throne. And Queen Victoria was 5th in line when she was born, so right off the bat, it was actually very unlikely she would ever get the crown. But then one by one, all of her family members began passing away suddenly. So by the time 1830 rolled around, Victoria was only 11 years old, and already she was next in line for the throne. So as if that wasn't bad already, Victoria was also brought up under the Kensington system. Victoria's mother, Duchess Victoria of Kent, created this system to control her daughter. She literally isolated her from birth, from mates or family members. Her mother did this to keep her pure. Her mother would monitor every single action, including who she can see or speak to at all times. She shared a room with her mother until she was finally queen. Yeah, she literally couldn't walk down the hallway alone. Victoria has reflected on her childhood, and she confirmed that she hates John Conroy for manipulating her mother. Queen Victoria's reign began in 18...
Yeah, there's so much like of that, right? Like her mother, like you could kind of see love there, right? Where a mother wanting to protect, and we know in these families lots of crazy things happen, and you just so happen to be next in line, you end up dying and taking a cat nap and don't wake up anymore. So I get that aspect of it for sure. And I do kind of see some of the divine kingship, and what I mean by that is we all know that God chooses who's born where, right? So we're not saying that God doesn't have control over it. What we're saying is no man has a God-given right to, take someone away someone's life, their liberty, right? That we're all made in the image of God, whether you're a king or you're a servant, and that we know that compared to the Father, right, we're all servants. And so very, very interesting, at least in detail about that. Anyone have anything?
Nope.
All right.
Oh, there's a guy.
Oh, we'll get back to that one. More modern times. Sorry guys, I didn't review every single one of these, and
you should have.
No, it's okay. We don't have time to go through everything, anyways.
No, you can't.
Let's see, where is it shaped? Yeah, I think that's a good one.
It's kind of just animation, but
okay, let's skip that one. They're related. That's insane. Okay, we already kind of talked about that.
That was Cleopatra. Go back and show that picture of her. We always thought of Cleopatra looking like this beauty. Well, just show that one. No.
I closed it. I can
okay.
No, it's okay. I can reopen it.
She was not pretty.
Yeah, well, that doesn't sell, you know.
She wasn't Elizabeth Taylor.
We know what sells in Hollywood, and that's probably not that, you know. What's this?
I don't know.
I just want to see something real quick what this says. I think it's really interesting that they're...
Oh, what? Wick or whatever they stick under.
No, like, look, like, what I think is funny about this whole thing is this is Birdsong Communications, the Freemasons and the Royal Family. Provincial Grand Lodge of Atrium welcomes John Hopkins. This video, oh, sorry, y'all can't see this. This video is like a like a PR for the Freemasons. And their algorithm has like this Wikipedia, like disclaimer, like they do with Flat Earth or, you know, other topics, right? With the beer bug. I just think it's funny where like the system, this is the snake biting its own tail. This is the Ouroboros. This is like their own systems attacking their own stuff because they're like, nobody can talk about Freemasons, only us. Let's check this out real quick. Silly boys.
Today in Belfast, I've been invited to deliver the Prestonian Lecture for 2022, the subject of which is the Royal Family and Freemasonry. Back last year, I was invited by the Grand Lodge of England to consider being the Prestonian Lecturer for this year. The Prestonian Lecturer is appointed annually by the United Grand Lodge of England. It's the only formal lectureship. And the person appointed as the lecturer chooses a topic on which he delivers a lecture, usually formally on 3 occasions and informally perhaps on a dozen or 20 more occasions, on a subject of his choice. And the choice of the lecture that I made for this year was the Royal Family and Freemasonry, because it's the 70th anniversary of the accession to the throne of Queen Elizabeth II, who is principal patron of the Royal Charities, and there are also some other important Masonic anniversaries this year. I had no idea of the extent of the Royal Family's connection with Freemasonry in England and indeed in Scotland and Ireland. Over the course of the period since 1737, there have been about 35, 36 members of the British Royal Family who have been Freemasons, which astounded me. I had no idea there were as many as that. And in addition...
we could edit there, but like that's what I say. That it's out of their own mouths. Yeah,
there she is. There's Elizabeth Taylor. Wow is right.
Who was the Greek guy that came and did the? He's like, man, she's so pretty. Like you know that the Romans must have been looking kind of. You know, on this angle too, if he was like, oh my god, Cleopatra, like I would give my life to just to look at your face.
I'm guessing power had a lot more influence on those standards than actual just physical beauty did in those times.
Yeah.
Well, there's inbred, and you get, well, if there's other inbreds, that jaw that she has, they've got some that are so pronounced because of the inbreeding. In fact, it's called the hawk, whatever.
Yeah,
Broward.
it's named after,
baby.
It's literally named after the that royal family, that jaw
Yeah.
is named after them that all had it. Yeah, and that it's the same thing, right? Like they don't want to spread out that power, to spread out that wealth, right? Because if you had a daughter, right, and you married off your daughter, you, in essence, right, she would be taking some of that inheritance and leaving, right? But if she all of a sudden married your brother's son, right, well, all of a sudden now that's staying with your brother. Now, if your brother dies, then the inheritance goes back to you. If you die, the inheritance goes to the. So it's about keeping it in the family, not just their money.
Right.
Yeah, very.
And they try to act like they split into different families, but we know, especially now with like Ancestry.com and whatnot, even when they seem to intermingle, they're intermingling with other families that are also practicing this, this.
They're like, no,
here.
this one's better because instead of 1/16th, they're 1/15th. Like it's literally, right. Yeah. Even when they intermingle, and like because all these European countries, France, England, Spain, Ireland, because even though there was a whole bunch of kingdoms, right? There's not that many princesses and princes to go around where they can't, and we know like our modern, I say but the modern monarchy over England, Great Britain as an example, over the UK, are actually German, right? They hail all the way from, Vlad the Impaler himself. So, which they brag about, right? And so what my point is because that's all they've ever done is they're just trying to keep the rule, they're just trying to keep the power, they're just trying to keep the money in the family. And so something like this, we're not gonna watch the 7-minute video, but it'd be interesting to watch. So we're saying there's a common line from Richard Bowles from Meghan to Harry. Like seemingly, so like just like you were saying, Kyle, seemingly from separate gene pools, somehow they're still related. We know that George Bush and Obama are related. Brad Pitt are related, right? You have all of this intermingling and co-connection, right? And I want to bring up this video because that goes right along the point. So I think this picture right here is a perfect crossover where we are introducing two royal families, guys. We have the English royal family and we have the American royal family. What's the American royal family, you might say? It's Hollywood, guys.
It's the English royal family extended to America.
Yeah, but it's the America royal family. They're all actors. They're all in the entertainment industry. So many of them, guys, so many of them have connection into Hollywood. And so, we've been talking about Freemasonry. We've been talking about, previously Aleister Crowley. We talked about the Pharaoh and their ceremony of the Osiris. We kind of briefly jumped on how the presidents redo that exact same thing. They go from the Washington Monument to the dome of the Capitol in that same type of ritualistic ceremony. And I want to pull up this video. Freemasonry, Osiris Risen. So we're going to play the little bit of this. I might have to mute the sound. I didn't. Okay, this should be fine. So in Freemasonry, I'll show it in a little bit. This, you saw it right there in the Egyptians. This whole symbology of the crossing the hands. Think about how weird that is, guys. Like, I literally want y'all to do this right now and be like, someone take a picture. Would you ever have an inclination to do this?
Nope.
No.
Not ever.
Boom. Sign
well, unless I was like suicidal in person.
So, and I'm going to pause it real quick. One thing about, something that I like bringing up and a lot of us, would use as a good point to share is that it's a lot of the times you don't necessarily know, but it's about the preponderance of evidence, right? None of us can actually get into a rocket and go high enough to see, right? We could put up a balloon that goes to 120,000 feet, but there's still doubt to be made, right? We can only go so far, we can only say so much. But it's a preponderance of evidence that shows us that something's over there, right? It's how much flak is in the skies as we're going on these bombing runs that we tell how close we are over the target. And so when we see all of these actors, these musicians are modern royal families in America, you will see the same type of behavior. This is nothing new. So let's keep watching.
Ils nous ont fait croire qu'Hitler était de l'autre côté, mais les usines Farben et Ford n'ont pas été bombardées. La conspiration globale des gouvernements invisibles.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute it, guys, because I don't know if that's gonna give me a copyright strike. But we'll just go over the images and kind of talk while it's going on.
Oh, I liked it. It said Big Mike back a little bit. It was Michelle Obama.
Yeah, but like as you see, guys,
it said that, or I think it was her. I don't know.
It's all of them. Madonna, right? Madonna, we know ISIS connected right there. Weird, right? Not.
Ugh.
We got all like look at the iconography on them, guys. They're like they're like Egyptian gods.
That was straight out, yeah.
That's such a weird pose. Like someone is literally like grab your shoulders or cross your hands, right? This is a who takes these pictures, guys? Have you ever taken a picture?
Hold yourself like you're having an identity crisis, is what it looks like.
Shh. We have special robes. We like our special robes. Yeah, so, this is nothing new. People a lot of talk about these connections, and that's because, like, in my honest view, guys, do we have a royal family? No. We have the royalty, the supposed royalty that's placed before us. Look at the behaviors. Look at the extravagancy of the cars and clothes and items and things that Hollywood stars have, and then look at English royal families. It's the same thing. And again, these actors that are in these positions, many of them are connected to the royal families. So just a point to show that, hey, it's connected in America too. Yeah, we don't have a open monarchy. We don't have a history of monarchy. But at the same time, at least in our modern day, excuse me, celebrities have taken that role. If you scroll back 100, 200 years, it's the bureaucrats, the aristocracies, the philosophers, the what's his name, the Mark Twain's, also a Freemason, who were the celebrities, right? Were the royals. So yeah, nothing new. All right, so
it's anyone with money, anyone that has a certain amount of money, they have to swear their allegiance.
Well, I think you get the money as they put you in that. I don't.
Yeah.
Even if you do make it along the way, they're gonna approach you over and over and try to, make you fall into their, their agenda.
Into their web. Yep.
And if you don't comply, I mean, you're just gonna end up
in a river.
Look out, your money might go bye-bye.
You're gonna
shuffling off your mortal coil.
Yeah, your money's gonna be bye-bye. No more mortal coil. You'll just be you'll be praised with an obituary. That's about as far as you'll get.
Yep.
Sweet.
Look at the Boot Club, the Black Eye Club. It's all the same thing. Aaron Rodgers. his Achilles goes out, and they predicted it on Twitter. Come on.
Yeah. It's the same stuff repeating, guys. That's why, having pattern recognition, being able to look at the world and seeing the inconsistencies of their story, the preponderance of evidence that shows us what they're telling us does not equate to what is actually being experienced. This is the little nicks in the armor that the truth seekers see and that we're trying to expose. We're not trying to say, guys, oh, woe is us, the world is ending. They're so powerful. They're like divine gods who can do these things to us. No, what we're showing is that there's two families, guys. There's the families of the ruler of this world and the families of those who the promise have been made to throughout Scripture. And it is our job to choose that family. Are we going to be in the world or of the world? And each person gets to take that choice and make that choice for themselves. Even the kings, right? Wouldn't it not be better to be killed, to shuffle off your mortal coil by doing the right thing even unto death, than to go along to get along and become this evil monster that many of these members of these families are? To do the sick and depraved things in the dark and announce your righteousness in the light. As Joy says, choose life indeed, sister. All right, sweet. Well, we have about 10 minutes. I know there's a lot of talking. I hope y'all were enjoying the show tonight. Let's go ahead and close it out so that we can get to the after show on time. We've been running a little late, but thank you to the 24 of y'all that are here with us, who joined us. I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Please, make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. All of those things really do help the channel grow, and we appreciate all that support we do get. But without further ado, we'll say our goodbyes, wrap up. Again, the link is in the description for the Discord if you'd like to join the after show. It's a place where we get to openly talk a little bit, more about stuff that we wouldn't really get to talk about on YouTube. And I just wanted to tell a little story real quick about our last after show that was really like a sync, God showing up and saying, hey, I'm aware of what y'all are doing. So it was really cool. So we were sitting there. I think it was just me, Kyle, and Marsha, and in the after show, and we're like, I guess it's just us. If no one comes, here in the next few minutes, we'll go ahead and just call it for the night. And then boom, all these people show up, and one of our brothers was able to really, have the Father speak through his brothers and sisters, and get his heart in a better place because of it. So of course, all glory to the Father for those type of things. But it's so awesome. So yep. Thank you, brother, for Hunter, for showing up. So sweet. All right. Well, let's say our goodbyes. Get out of here, and at 9:15 p.m. Eastern, we'll start our after show. That's in about 15 minutes. But we'll say our goodbyes and get out of here. So jump over you to Marsha. Welcome again, sister, for being here, and say your goodbyes.
Just bye, everyone, and hope you enjoyed the show, and love being here. So
sweet. We love having you. Sweet. All right, we'll jump over to you, Robert. Sign us off, brother.
All righty. Well, y'all have a good rest of the night. See you over on the after show. And have a great week, and I'll do like Marsha.
Put your hand. Can I get a I don't know?
Yeah. Oh, I got on here. Oh.
Marsha. I don't know.
Yeah, Marsha. Oh, yeah.
Marsha.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. We'll jump over to Kyle if you'd like to say your goodbyes, brother.
Yeah, shalom, everyone. I hope this kind of shows that these people will go to any length and any limit to get what they desire here on this earth, even so much as ruining their own salvation and the damnation of their own souls. but it's just that. It's only temporary material stuff that you can't take with you. It's better to choose the Father and his Son. With that, I'm out. Good to see you all.
Indeed. And second to last but not least, Frankie B.
Shalom, everyone. Dig deep because the truth is out there. And have a great week. And enjoy Born Out of Time, baby. Dig deep.
Yep, as always, at the end of the show, we got Dig Deep by Born Out of Time. Frankie B and Nick Infinite, that's their band, and we're so blessed that they gave that song and made that song for the show. But yeah, everyone, I hope you enjoyed the show. We appreciate all the love, and hope to see you next week. Next week, we will be talking about currency, and of course, you know, we kind of got a hint of that with good old Queen Mama walking through that, you know, fields of gold. And, you know, we'll talk about the past, we'll talk about the present, we'll talk about the future of it, and what it could mean for us. And, of course, we always stay focused on the Father, and his will be done on earth as it is in heaven. But, yeah, until next time, guys, we'll see you there. And remember, until next time, that Abba loved you first. Good night, everyone. Have a good day.
Good night.
It's your glory, conceal the mystery. You give us the honor to search a matter. You raise up a standard to beat back our enemy. You establish this realm, and like a scroll you spread it out. Dig deep, search it out. Dig deep, seek it out. Dig deep, go on and walk it out. Dig deep, I give you oil to fill up your cup. I give you enough to fill up your lamps. Yeah, you keep them trimmed, you keep them neat, you keep on worshiping and praising till you're at his feet. Oh, King Yeshua.